Get ready to uncover a mind-blowing secret about one of the world's most breathtaking countries, Brazil. While you're probably familiar with its stunning landscapes and the majestic Amazon rainforest, what lies beneath the surface is just as awe-inspiring, thousands of years of history waiting to be discovered. And recently, that past came back to life in a shocking way. An untouched prehistoric body was unearthed in Brazil, sending shockwaves around the globe. Join us on this thrilling journey as we dive into the details of this incredible finding and how it's turned our understanding of Brazilian history and the world upside down. You won't believe what's making headlines at Brazil's National Museum, an astonishing human fossil that's finally getting the spotlight it deserves after 2 decades of being hidden from view. A skull, carefully stored away for 20 years, has just stepped out into the limelight, and Brazilian scientists are buzzing about its incredible discovery. After meticulous examination, they've made a monumental announcement. This ancient cranium is, without a doubt, the oldest human remains ever found in the Western Hemisphere. A revelation that's sending shockwaves through the scientific community. But there's more to this story. Its prolonged storage period might have kept us from truly appreciating just how groundbreaking it could be. Meet Lucia, the incredible 8,000-year-old matriarch who's finally telling her story. Discovered back in '74 by a joint French-Brazilian dig in Belo Horizonte, Brazil, this ancient lady had been hiding secrets beneath the earth for millennia. Found snugly inside a rock shelter, a natural haven for our early ancestors, Lucia's remains were remarkably preserved, considering her age and the environment she was unearthed from. Though her skeleton wasn't found exactly as it would have been in life, her skull stood out all by itself, separated from the rest of the bones, waiting to reveal its secrets to us today. Beneath nearly 40 feet of minerals and dirt, hidden from our prying eyes for millennia, Lucia's secret world was finally unearthed. The incredible depth her remains were buried at tells us that over time, massive geological movements and layers upon layers of sediment had settled, essentially sealing the site in a protective shroud. This extraordinary preservation environment is what allowed the ancient remains to remain as intact as they did. Yet, extracting information from Lucia hasn't been without its challenges. It's a puzzle waiting to be solved. In 2013, a radiocarbon dating process was conducted on charcoal samples from the sediment layer where Lucia's bones were found, and this groundbreaking analysis revealed some astonishing facts about our ancient friend. She lived an estimated 30 years ago, plus or minus 60 years. When we factor in the margin of error, we get a wider range of 11,243 to 11,710 years, placing her among the earliest known human remains found in the Americas. But there's even more. A forensic examination of Lucia's bones also gave us insight into her age at the time of passing. It was her early 20s when she took her final breath, leaving behind a legacy that continues to captivate our imagination. Meet Lucia, a fascinating figure from our ancient past who stood at an average height for someone of her time, just shy of 5 feet. Despite being discovered nearly intact, about 1/3 of her skeleton remains missing, giving us a partial yet deeply insightful look into her anatomy. Scientific estimations suggest that Lucia was only around 20 years old when she passed away, and it's believed that this tragic event could have been the result of an unfortunate accident, or perhaps an encounter with a wild animal, considering her otherwise healthy state, but the presence of injuries on her skeletal remains. Interestingly, through Lucia's bones, researchers were able to make educated guesses about her way of life and cultural ties. Given how her remnants were unearthed, it's thought that she was part of a group of nomadic hunter-gatherers. Let's dive into Lucia's story. She lived around 9,000 years ago and was just shy of 5 feet tall, pretty average for her time period. Yet, despite being discovered almost fully intact, nearly 1/3 of her skeleton is missing, providing us with an intriguing partial glimpse into her anatomy. Researchers believe Lucia passed away at the age of 20, likely due to either a tragic accident or a run-in with wildlife. This conclusion was reached as she had otherwise healthy bones, but showed signs of injuries. What's fascinating about Lucia is that through her skeletal remains, scientists were able to make educated guesses about her lifestyle and cultural ties. Given how her remains were found, it seems like Lucia was part of a nomadic hunter-gatherer group, a common way of life among early humans before the advent of agriculture. Despite dying young, Lucia's community likely lived life to the fullest. Now, here's something truly captivating. While flint tools were discovered close to Lucia's remains, she was the only human found in Vermella Cave, suggesting her presence there might hold more secrets than we initially thought. However, just as we were starting to unravel Lucia's story, disaster struck. A fire ravaged Brazil's National Museum in 2018, and it was feared that Lucia's remains had been lost forever. But wait, there's more. In a stunning twist, firefighters discovered that Lucia's skull had miraculously survived the fire. Although it was found in pieces, around 80% of her fragments, including parts of her forehead, nose, and side bones were successfully identified. Additionally, a crucial piece of her femur was also recovered. Now, let's take a closer look at what makes Lucia so unique. Her facial features provide us with valuable insights into the physical appearance of ancient populations that once roamed our planet. Her cranium stands out due to its narrow and oval shape, accompanied by a projecting face and a prominent chin, traits that differentiate her from typical Native American and indigenous Siberian characteristics. In a groundbreaking discovery, anthropologists dug deep to unravel Lucia's mysterious roots through comparative analyses with other ancient cultures. They found intriguing similarities between her facial features and those of indigenous Australians, Melanesians from the Pacific, and Southeast Asia's Negritos, populations that were previously thought to be far apart geographically. This surprising connection led renowned anthropologist Walter Neves to propose a daring hypothesis: Lucia might share common ancestry with Australia's Aboriginal people. This idea sparks an exciting debate about ancient human migration patterns, suggesting potential connections between South America and Australasia, which could rewrite the history books on our earliest ancestors' journeys and interactions. The long-held notion of how humans first reached the Americas is being turned on its head thanks to a groundbreaking theory proposed by Brazilian anthropologists, including Walter Neves. The Beringian migration model, which has been the cornerstone of our understanding of human history in the New World, paints a picture of a single mass migration from Northeast Asia via the Bering Land Bridge during the Ice Age. However, this new idea suggests that our history is far more complex and intricate, possibly featuring multiple waves of migrants with connections between distant parts of the globe. This fresh perspective places Lucia's Paleo-Indian ancestors in Southeast Asia for thousands of years after leaving Africa, challenging the traditional view of a singular journey to the Americas and raising questions about what we thought we knew about our past. Brazilian researchers Walter Neves and his team are shaking up the conventional wisdom by suggesting a new timeline and origin story for our ancestors' arrival in the Americas. They propose that Southeast Asia was home to Lucia's Paleo-Indian ancestors much longer than previously thought, with this extended stay lasting thousands of years after they left Africa. During their time in Southeast Asia, these populations could have developed unique regional cultures, tools, and survival skills, setting them up for a more complex migration into the New World. The evidence from sites like Montevideo in southern Chile, dating back over 14,500 years ago, points to early human presence in the Americas long before our traditional understanding of when they arrived. This new theory has sparked debate among anthropologists who are now exploring possible routes these ancient populations might have taken on their journey across the Pacific, adding another layer of mystery to the story of how we ended up here. The theory of an ancient East Asian population traveling by boat across the Pacific is gaining traction as researchers like Walter Neves and André Proust continue to dig up evidence supporting this idea. Their study, conducted in '98 on Lucia's skull, placed her age at approximately 11,400 years old, adding a new layer to our understanding of human presence in the Americas. However, not everyone agrees with Walter. Rolando Gonzalez Jose, Frank Williams, and William Armalagos have taken a closer look at Lucia's remains as well, suggesting that those distinct skull and facial features might simply be a result of natural genetic changes or environmental factors unique to Native American groups. This raises the question, are these unique physical traits enough to prove an ancestral connection to distant populations like those found in Australia and Melanesia? In a stunning turn of events, scientists from the University of Sao Paulo and Harvard University rocked our understanding of human migration with groundbreaking DNA sequencing research in November 2018. By examining Lucia's genetic profile, they uncovered an Amerindian ancestry that left no doubt about her roots. This groundbreaking discovery sparks a fresh wave of questions. Were the initial theories about Lucia being a bridge between ancient Eastern and Western populations just a myth, or was there indeed a diverse array of human migration paths in the Americas, with Lucia representing only one fascinating piece of this complex puzzle? It's your turn. Share with us what you think about Lucia's DNA discovery in the comments down below. If you're as fascinated by human migration history as we are, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more mind-blowing facts and discoveries. See you in our next video.